Welcome back, my drifties. We've had Taylor Swift in Toronto this week, and I thought she's got her Swifties, and I've got my drifties. So thank you for being here. And I have a question for you. This channel is still so new, and your feedback really means the world to me. It's allowing me to find that sweet spot. I have read this story a lot slower than my previous, and I need to know if it's too slow. So, if you don't mind sending me a message or a kind comment, this all helps me with my channel. It takes time to grow something on YouTube, and I want to create something very special for my listeners. So, your feedback as I trial and error different ways of reading really helps me out. So, thank you. If you haven't liked previous stories or commented on them, that is a free way to support my channel. And so, I do appreciate you taking the time to make a comment, pressing the like button, and subscribing. So, thank you very, very much. Okay, let's get into today's beautiful story. I would love for you to settle into your favorite cozy spot. Get comfy and let the gentle rhythm of these stories guide you into a restful sleep. Don't feel bad if you fall asleep before the story's over. That's kind of the point. Today's story is called Holiday Market in Vermont. Okay, are you ready? Let's get started. Enjoy. As the soft glow of the early morning spills over the rolling hills of Vermont, November reveals itself in hues of amber, faded gold, and smoky gray. The last of the autumn leaves cling to the branches, some fluttering down in the crisp breeze to rest on the damp earth. You find yourself in the quiet countryside, the road winding gently through farmland and clusters of leaf-bare trees. It's early yet, but there's a hushed excitement in the air as you make your way to the quaint Christmas market waiting just down the lane. The air is cool and tinged with the earthy scent of fallen leaves, mixed with the faint sweetness of pine sap from the surrounding evergreens. Every step crunches softly against a bed of dried leaves, and your breath mingles with the air in gentle clouds. The sky is layered with thin clouds, promising sunlight that peeks through here and there, casting a pale light across the fields dotted with old wooden fences. As you near the market, nestled within a small clearing just off the main road, the first hints of holiday cheer greet you. The faint smell of cinnamon and clove waft through the air, mingling with a hint of wood smoke drifting up from fire pits scattered along the edge of the market square. The booths painted in rustic reds and forest greens are draped with strands of soft white lights, each twinkling like a star in the morning light. You notice wreaths made from fresh pine and holly hung on each booth, adorned with red berries and small, cheerful ribbons. You walk closer, drawn by the gentle murmur of voices as early visitors arrive. Local artisans are setting up displays of handmade woolen scarves, knitted mittens, and small wooden toys. The soft chime of a bell rings each time a guest steps into the old converted barn, now transformed into a cozy market, with scents of mulled cider and fresh gingerbread wafting out each time the door opens. Stepping into the market space, the warmth greets you instantly. Someone has set up a copper kettle of mulled cider, and the fragrance of spiced apples fills the room, inviting you to warm your hands around a steaming cup. Outside, a musician strums softly on a guitar, his melody warm and slow, echoing through the trees. You close your eyes for a moment, breathing in the peace and simplicity of this quiet November morning in Vermont, feeling the gentle anticipation of the coming season. With each step, each gentle scent, and each sound of friendly voices, you feel a sense of calm settle over you. The busy world drifting into the background, leaving only the magic of the moment as you wander deeper into the Christmas market. You take your time wandering through the rows of booths, each one a small treasure trove of handcrafted goods. At the first stall, a smiling woman stands behind a display of soft knitted hats and scarves, each piece in colors of deep forest green, earthy brown, and snowy white. You reach out and feel the yarn, its softness a comforting contrast against the cool November air. The woman explains how each item is made by hand, spun from local wool. You try on a dark green scarf, its warmth settling around your neck, and decide it's the perfect choice to bring home. Next, you're drawn to a table filled with pottery, each piece unique in its glaze and shape. A mug catches your eye, its exterior a deep, comforting blue with flecks of white like freshly fallen snow. You hold it in your hands, feeling its sturdy weight, imagining how nice it will feel cradling a hot drink on a winter's night. You exchange a few words with the potter, who tells you about the local clay he uses And you can tell by the pride in his voice that each piece carries his careful craftsmanship. As you hand him your payment, there's a quiet satisfaction in knowing you're supporting someone who's poured their heart into each creation. Wandering further, you find a stall brimming with homemade candles, each scent a cozy invitation. You pick up a candle labeled Vermont Woods and bring it to your nose. It smells of pine, cedar, and a hint of wood smoke, instantly bringing to mind the crisp air and tall evergreens surrounding the market. Another candle named Winter Spice fills the air with cinnamon, nutmeg, and vanilla. You decide to take one of each, imagining how they'll warm your home with their scents, bringing a bit of Vermont back with you. In another booth, the artist showcases hand-carved wooden ornaments and small toys. You run your fingers over the smooth wood, each figure polished to a gentle shine. One ornament, in the shape of a tiny fox, makes you smile, and you decide it's the perfect addition to your collection. Each purchase feels like a meaningful exchange, a small, thoughtful way of connecting with the hands that made each item. You move on, carrying your new treasures with a sense of warmth and appreciation, knowing that each item comes with a story, that in your own way, you're a part of this little market's community. You follow the scent of warm bread and cinnamon to a table overflowing with home-baked goods. It's a display of simple, rustic delights, golden loaves of bread with crispy crusts, pies filled with apples and pears, and rows of cookies dusted with powdered sugar. You can almost taste the comfort in each treat. A friendly baker, her cheeks rosy from the warmth of the ovens, smiles as you select a freshly baked loaf of sourdough, its crust crackling under your fingers. You choose a small box of cinnamon buns, their tops sticky with caramelized sugar, perfect for sharing at the dinner party you'll host tomorrow. As you make your way to the checkout, the baker wraps everything in thick brown paper, the warmth of the bread still radiating through. Each item feels like a little gift filled with the care and time someone put into making it just right. With your bundle of treats, you step outside into the brisk air, where the scent of hay and pine drifts towards you, mingling with the sound of cheerful voices and jingling bells. You see a horse-drawn wagon stationed nearby, decorated with garlands of evergreen branches. The two large horses, their coats a deep chestnut, stand patiently in their harnesses adorned with small silver bells that glint in the morning light. Their gentle snorts cloud the air, and you catch the warm, earthy scent of hay and leather. Volunteers are collecting donations for the local food bank, and there's a joyful sense of community as families and friends climb onto the wagon, blankets draped over their laps. Laughter and happy chatter fill the air as the wagon sets off. The rhythmic clopping of hooves, soothing and steady, the sound of bells jingling with each step brings a nostalgic warmth, reminding you of winters past, of cozy blankets and crisp air. You stand for a moment, taking in the scene, the crunch of gravel underfoot, the scent of pine from the garlands, the laughter that drifts around you. There's something deeply comforting about this small act of giving, of neighbors coming together to support one another. You feel a quiet joy as you breathe it all in, knowing that, like the treats in your arms, this day will stay with you, a gentle reminder of the beauty in these simple shared moments. You settle onto the wagon, wrapping a thick wool blanket across your lap as the horses start moving with a steady, comforting rhythm. Around you, family and friends huddle together, bundled up in cozy scarves, knit hats, and quilted jackets, their cheeks pink from the crisp air. There's a couple with their young child bundled in a bright red coat, pointing eagerly at the passing trees, and a group of friends laughing together as they take in the view. The air is filled with the sound of friendly chatter and the occasional jingling of the horses' bells, adding a touch of cheer to each turn of the wheels. The wagon meanders down a path lined with tall pines and bare oaks, their branches twisting into intricate patterns against the gray November sky. fields stretch out on either side, some dotted with the golden remnants of corn stalks, others covered in a fine layer of frost, shimmering like scattered crystals in the pale light. Here and there, the landscape reveals glimpses of old barns with faded red paint, and every so often a flock of birds takes flight, sweeping across the sky in perfect formation. As the ride continues, the scent of hay beneath you mixes with the faint smell of damp earth carried on the cool breeze. You notice how the forest seems to deepen as the wagon rolls on, the trees growing taller, casting long shadows across the path. Everyone leans in a little closer, voices hushed, as if the beauty of the moment calls for quiet appreciation. Near the end of the ride, the first few drops of rain begin to fall, tapping lightly against the wagon's roof and landing softly on your blanket. There's a flurry of activity as people pull up their hoods and wrap scarves a little tighter, laughing as they share blankets and cover their heads. The raindrops fall in a gentle mist, blurring the landscape just slightly and adding a cozy, dreamlike quality to the scene. Once the wagon pulls back to the market, you carefully step down, gathering your things and making your way back to the parking area. The rain has picked up now, a steady drizzle creating tiny rivulets along the path. You hurry toward your car, the sound of the rain a soft, soothing rhythm against the roof once you're inside. As you start your drive home, the rain blurs the world outside, turning the landscape into a wash of muted grays and greens. The headlights cast a warm glow on the road ahead, illuminating raindrops that glisten like small jewels. The car's heater hums softly, filling the cabin with a gentle warmth that melts away any lingering chill from the morning air. The winding road feels calm, lined by tall trees and occasional cottages with lights glowing in their windows. You feel a deep sense of peace as you drive, watching the rain tap softly against the glass. With each passing mile, the memory of the Christmas market lingers, a day filled with warmth and laughter and simple joys. Back home, you step inside, letting the warmth of the house wrap around you like a cozy embrace, a welcome relief from the chill of the November rain. You set your bags down gently, listening as the soft patter of raindrops fades to a distant murmur outside. The comforting scent of home, warm wood, a hint of cinnamon from past baking, and the earthy undertone of a lived-in space welcomes you, settling your spirit. With quiet anticipation, you begin to unpack your purchases. The scarf, deep green and soft to the touch, seems to hold the essence of Vermont's forests. And you can't help but run your fingers over it, appreciating its texture. You imagine how perfect it will be on cold winter walks. But then a thought strikes you. A family member would love this, maybe even more than you. Smiling to yourself, you place it in a small pile meant for gifting, feeling a certain joy in knowing this piece will bring someone else a bit of warmth. One by one, you lift out the other items. The pottery mug with its serene sky blue glaze, the candles that smell like freshly cut pine, and of course, the small fox ornament with its playful hand-painted expression. Each item is unique and beautiful, and you realize that while you bought them as treats for yourself, sharing these tokens of the season with friends and family feels even more fulfilling. You separate a few of the candles, imagining the joy on your loved ones' faces when they catch a whiff of pine and spices. Each candle a tiny reminder of the Christmas market and the warmth of the community you experienced there. With your treasures unpacked, you feel a pull toward the kitchen, where you set a pot on the stove and pour a generous serving of apple cider. You add a few spices, a cinnamon stick, a couple of cloves, and a dash of nutmeg, and soon the room is filled with a comforting, nostalgic fragrance. The smell thick and sweet as it weaves through the house. You pour yourself a mug of the warm cider, savoring the way the heat spreads through your hands and radiates outward. A simple pleasure that brings a smile to your face. Sipping the cider, you slip into your coziest clothing, your softest sweater, and a pair of thick socks. And you feel the gentle embrace of comfort settling over you. Then your eyes fall upon the old Christmas tree stored in the closet, and a rush of emotion fills your chest. The tree was a gift, a final farewell from your best friend before they moved across the country. You remember that last winter together, the two of you decorating this tree with laughter, nostalgia, and long conversations that lasted deep into the night. Setting it up now feels like honoring that friendship, keeping their presence alive through each branch, each light, each ornament. With care, you lift the tree from its box, unfurling its branches and fluffing them out until it stands tall and proud in its usual corner of the room. You string the lights, watching as the soft glow fills the room with a warmth that feels almost magical, transforming the space. Then you reach into your ornament box, pulling out the small treasures collected over the years, each one a memory. There are delicate glass snowflakes, tiny wooden stars, and bulbs painted in rich reds and greens. Each ornament carries its own story, and you take your time hanging them with care, letting memories of holidays past wash over you. Finally, you reach for the fox ornament from the market, holding it in your hand and feeling a fresh wave of happiness at the day's simple pleasures. You hang it at eye level, so its little face peeks out cheerfully among the branches. A new friend among old memories. Stepping back, you admire the tree, a symbol of friendship, memory, a holiday cheer, its lights casting a golden glow that fills every corner of the room. You feel a deep sense of contentment, a fullness in your heart that only these small, meaningful moments can bring. With a happy sigh, you settle onto the couch, pulling a thick woven blanket over your legs. The fire crackles softly on the hearth, sending warm flickers of light dancing across the room, each flame casting shadows that sway like gentle waves. You feel enveloped in warmth, not just from the fire, but from your day, the small gestures of kindness, the connections you've nurtured. Opening your book, you let your mind drift into its pages, a comforting weight of the day resting gently on your shoulders. The soft light of the tree glows in the background. The cider's warmth lingers, and the world outside fades into a soothing quiet. You sink into this peaceful moment, feeling entirely at home, wrapped in love and warmth that this special time of year brings.